Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now September 2nd of 2020, and ever since the very end of the Skywalker Saga, a lot of fans have been very much on edge with exactly how Disney and Lucasfilm are going to treat the future of the franchise, with George Lucas, Jon Favreau, and Dave Filoni all working together as a team to really do the best that they can with the new Star Wars universe. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Disney Star Wars is that, yes, we do know that George, Jon, and Dave are doing everything in their power to deliver as much authentic Star Wars material as possible. Essentially, what they are doing as we speak is that they are drawing a lot from Star Wars Legends and even developing their own original stories. Now, given The Rise of Skywalker as a film had a very messy production behind the scenes, all because of Kathleen Kennedy and what she initiated, such as a handful of the reshoots that took place in late 2018 and early 2019 and throughout the rest of that year on and off, it really created a lot of problems within the Star Wars fan base, right? So here we are, we're now on the road to a better path of the franchise as George, Jon, and Dave, and the two Bobs, as I like to call them, Iger and Chapek, are really, supervising all of this and taking a close look at what George, Jon, and Dave have to offer for the new universe. Now, with that being said, of course, the Skywalkers. Let's focus on the Skywalkers and what's really exciting about what George Lucas has planned for the future throughout this entire decade. The Skywalkers are indeed going to still be very much relevant in this new Star Wars universe. In fact, George Lucas has a major plan to bring back the Skywalker Saga in a very unique way and to really expand the story of the Skywalker Saga in several different ways than fans wouldn't even expect to see. Now, with that being said, of course, with the Skywalker Saga now over as far as the movies go, both Disney and Lucasfilm are focused on their new Star Wars universe, as well as their new Star Wars trilogy of films that are set to deliver a brand new mythology to Star Wars fans around the world. Now, it's described that Bob Chapek is allowing creator George Lucas to do wonderful things with the franchise in order to make the fans excited again for Star Wars. It's noted that George Lucas has a major plan to bring back the Skywalker Saga in several ways that will indeed satisfy the fans around the world. Since Kennedy made it very clear that the saga was over with Episode 9, Disney began to slowly learn that the Skywalkers are what sell. As of now, Lucas is focused on bringing back the common and well-known Skywalkers back into the universe by continuing the saga on Disney+. By exploring Luke Skywalker and Anakin Skywalker in live-action form once again. Lucas is described to be in charge of and focused on how Anakin will be used in the upcoming Kenobi TV series and other projects, as well as Luke Skywalker's return in The Mandalorian Season 3 for 2021, and even a young Luke Skywalker TV series that is in early development that they plan to release in the next couple of years. So, in case you guys did not know, they are planning to develop a young Luke series that we talked about a couple of months ago, and they are actually in the process of hiring Sebastian Stan to replace Mark Hamill as Luke to become a young version of Skywalker. Now, we talked about this. Obviously, a lot of fans have mixed feelings on this because of what happened with Solo. A lot of fans were so-so with Alden Ehrenreich's performance as Han. I mean, he had that look of Han Solo here and there of Harrison Ford in certain angles and shots, but there were other shots where it just did not look like him, let alone how he actually talked, right? The overall voice of Alden Ehrenreich didn't necessarily match up to Harrison Ford's, at least in my book. Now, beyond all of this, alright, George Lucas, I think, is making the right steps here, where not just that, but also George Lucas is set to explore Anakin Skywalker's grandparents that were the parents of Shmi Skywalker in the new Disney canon. The addition of these new Skywalkers being introduced before the prequels is said to be Lucas's way to be very original with the new direction for the franchise. Now, I'm not quite sure how I really feel about Anakin's grandparents being touched on and being explored. That is one thing that I think is going to be controversial among a lot of fans out there. But nonetheless, it is a very interesting thing, right? Did we even learn about Shmi Skywalker's parents in the old, Star Wars Legends universe? We didn't really. And neither did we in the Disney canon, and that's exactly what Lucas wants to explore. But it doesn't end there. Not just that, but also Lucas is actively developing stories for both Zane and Kira Skywalker that are going to be the children of both Ben and Rey in a unique way for the universe in a post-Episode 9 era. Now, in case you guys did not know this, is that there is going to be a Rise of Skywalker sequel series that Lucasfilm is planning to release sometime in 2023 on Disney+. So essentially what they are aiming to do is that they really are trying to develop new Skywalkers in different timelines, as well as expanding, the already established Skywalkers, like, for example, Anakin Skywalker, Luke Skywalker, and Leia, and even Ben Solo. They are actually looking into developing more on Ben Solo as well and other projects out there. This is all a part of George Lucas's plan to continue and bring back the Skywalker Saga in amazing ways. Now, essentially, alright, Lucas is focused on bringing the Skywalkers back, such as the already established ones and even new Skywalkers in the mix that the fans will be introduced to in the next couple of years to come. Now, this plan by Lucas is said to be big as a, plan overall that he is working closely with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni with, and is said to be Disney's way to regaining the lost fans that walked away from the sequel trilogy movies, where Lucas is also working on the designs of the new Skywalkers and going over all of this with Favreau and Filoni in order to make the Skywalkers relevant in the new universe and to introduce the Skywalkers to the new fans that are just entering into the franchise. So keep in mind is that George Lucas is really looking to introduce the Skywalkers, the new ones, if you will, and even the older ones, to new fans. George, John, and Dave realized that these new fans potentially may never actually invest their time into the Skywalkers if they just go into shows like The Mandalorian or stuff around those lines where it's not heavy on the Skywalkers. That's exactly what they're changing. Such as The Mandalorian Season 3 is going to introduce a young Luke Skywalker. They want to tap into that. They also want to tap into Anakin in the Kenobi TV series through flashbacks of the Clone Wars and him and Darth Vader armor and vision sequences that Ewan McGregor's Kenobi's going to experience. It's going to be quite a time, let me tell you, the next couple of years that a lot of fans are about to experience. Now, beyond this, it's noted that the new Skywalkers will not just be for live action, but will be explored in books, comics, and even video games and animated material throughout this entire decade and beyond. Thankfully, Kathleen Kennedy is not involved with this process and is only and strictly working on the Leslie Headland Star Wars TV series for Disney+. Lucas will be using tons of Star Wars Legends material in order to continue the saga, as it deserves to be done in a respectful way for the fans and the overall Star Wars fandom, and that Disney is being very careful with their decisions in order to not create a second backlash like what happened with The Last Jedi and more. So like I've said, this is Lucas's way of really making things right for the fans, to bring back the saga that so many fans know and love. Now, even though it's not planned to be in the forms of, movies or films, whatever have you, Lucas plans to continue the saga in the form of television. This is a big deal. This is a very big deal because what's great about television is that you can really explore a lot of character development over a series of seasons, and you can really get to know the character on, a micro scale. You can really learn about the character and what they've actually been through throughout the ages. That's what they want to do with the already established Skywalkers and some of the new ones that we have yet to see by Disney. And to me, I think that's very exciting. I think it really is. Do I wish it was more so related to the movies? Absolutely. I think that would have been a better path to go. But once again, this is Lucas's way of continuing Luke and Anakin's story in their prime and in the forms of visions, flashbacks, present time, all these, crazy aspects that he will be exploring with Anakin's grandparents and the children of Rey Skywalker and all these different, timelines that he's going to be creating. So, looking forward to that. So with that being said, guys, drop a comment below. I'd love to think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
We hear them once again.